Hi y'all, welcome back to another episode. This is hopefully a new series on the show. First off, I'm kind of recording with like a live audience. I'm here on Zoom with some great gals. We're gonna talk about that in a second. Actually, I fully ripped Martha Stewart off on this podcast idea, which I know is like literally no shock here. She did an episode with, I think hers was like a super fan episode or something. Mine's like a community kind of vibe with people who have just like followed her forever. And I loved the episode. And I always get requests. Why can't I say request? Request. I don't know. It's a hard word to say. Anyways, I always get, request, that's the word, from y'all saying you want to be on the show. And so this is like a nice way that we're kind of all, in this together. Also, I just wanted to give a shout out before we get into it, for the Truly Party Pack that if you guys are watching on YouTube, you guys will see it. We'll talk about it later on in the episode. It's amazing. My favorite flavor is the pineapple one, the one that is out now. And y'all might notice that there are some things with me. I'm wearing something very cute. If you guys are watching again on YouTube, guys, I have to be honest with you. I had 2 coffees and I have not been drinking this much coffee and I am jittery. So if you guys are you're stressing me out, I'm stressing myself out. So anyways, I have this really cute new house guest merch shirt. Apparently I've lost the ability to speak English as well. Anyways, look at this crew neck. We have another little red crew neck. They all have the cutest design normally. If I'm being honest, when we're developing merch, I have about 17 edits and it takes forever. And this one, they came to me and they were and I was like, okay, no, this is literally perfect. Then we have a pink one with red on it. You guys have probably seen it on my Instagram today. And then we also have this mug that I've been drinking coffee out of, and I'm sure everyone is begging me to stop, but it's in here, so I will drink it. Again, house guest. It's the cutest merch I think I've ever come out with. And I am just obsessed with that. But anyways, I'm gonna welcome the girls on to the show. I'm very, very excited about this. So hopefully we'll be doing more of these in the future. If y'all like it, I'm already feeling the episode. I feel like it's gonna be great, fabulous, everything of the sort. And we're gonna get started. So I will welcome them on. I'm gonna have them do little intros. Hi y'all, this is House Guest, and I am your host, Kenzie Elizabeth. Think a Gen Z wannabe Martha Stewart meets Dolly Parton trying to live in a Nancy Meyers movie in her 20s. We talk all about life, relationships, navigating your 20s, closing out the bars, or waking up at 5 a.m., depending on our vibe that week. Ultimately, living our best lives and figuring it out along the way. So come hang out. Sometimes I have guests on who do really cool things, some of my best friends, or it's just me and my house that I spend way too much time in. So let's get into the show. Hey girls. Guys, I am so excited to have y'all on the show. I'm gonna have you guys do an intro. Here's the issue. It is so hard on a podcast, I'm just giving this to the listener, to not talk over each other. It's even harder on Zoom. That's why I don't normally do Zoom recordings, but obviously we made an exception here. For example, Macy and I just recorded an episode and we still talk over each other. We recorded a billion times. So anyways, I'm gonna call out names really quickly for intros. And then if any, you know what, it happens and there's only so much that we can do. Let's go with Bailey first. Give us a little intro to yourself and maybe how you found the podcast, the things that you've connected with in the community, whatever it is. Oh wait, also, sorry. I almost said producer Carly. Editor Carly is here, and Editor Carly has really done this entire thing. Everyone loves Editor Carly. So anyways, just had to give a shout out for anyone who's watching and is confused why there are more people here. Okay, sorry. Anyways, Bailey, take it away.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having us. I'm so excited to be here. I'm Bailey. I am 24 and I live on Oahu in Waikiki. And I work in sales at a resort here. So I graduated college 2.5 years ago and moved out here about 2 years ago. That's what I've been up to. I've been following Kenzie for a very long time. I followed you because I originally followed Molly, I don't know. I feel like this was 10 years ago at this point. My first video that I remember was your 10,000 subscriber giveaway.
Oh my God.
It's been quite a long time. I feel like you gave away a painting or something. I don't remember.
That's actually so me.
But it's been a long time. So I'm very excited to be here. I love the podcast. I love the whole community that you've built. So I'm just very excited to be here, meet some other girls.
Wow. Thank you. Also, I don't think anyone follows me that followed me then. So thank you. That is crazy. Oh my God. Okay, now Allie, let's do a little intro.
Hey, I am Allie. So I live in Indiana on a cute little lake out here in kind of the middle of nowhere. I'm 23 and I'm in med device. Um, I'm always terrible remembering what we're talking about.
How you like were introduced to House Guest.
Yes. So I'm a big Pinterest girl. I love getting on there. And that's kind of where I saw your podcast initially recommended was like podcast for girls in their 20s, all of that. And I think that was like a couple years ago. As for content that like I resonate with, gardening 100%. I'm literally having my dad help me build a little herb
Oh, like
garden.
I've literally found my people.
Like all of those things, definitely like meeting friends. So I just moved up here in August, so like trying to get through all of that, the post grad life. And yeah, in my cooking era, I just got a sourdough starter and I'm pumped.
Okay, like we need to talk about that because the most shocking thing about me is actually the fact that I don't have a sourdough starter. I've never made sourdough. Like it's so up my alley, you'd think. So we'll get to that later. Okay, Caroline, let's hear your intro. This is like why it sounds like you're doing like an American Idol like audition or something. Like, hi, nice to meet you.
Well, hey, Kenzie. Hey, podcast listeners. My name is Caroline. I'm originally from California, but I moved out to Southwest Florida in 2016, and I've been here ever since. So I graduated college also in 2020, so I'm 25. I'm also a Leo, and I work at a local fire department doing emergency management.
Wow, that's really cool. Are the firefighters hot?
Yes, it is always very fun to work with so many good-looking men.
No, this is literally a smut novel in the making.
Are
Yes,
you
but
like
I
a
do have
lot?
a boyfriend. Yes, I do have a boyfriend and I love him dearly. He is a
Got it.
J name crazy boy.
Wow, a J name
Yeah.
success story.
But yeah, I started listening to you probably about 2 years ago. And then I actually had one of my best friends from college had been following you even longer. So I'm still on the newer side of being a listener,
Oh my
but definitely
gosh.
resonating with being a gal in your 20s and balancing friendships and life and kind of I'm not quite a homeowner, but I have my own apartment, which is my first
Love.
big thing. So I feel like I'm in my homeowner era now.
Love. Oh my gosh. Okay, guys. I'm so excited for this. I feel like, well, Allie, I'm assuming, or Bailey. Bailey, okay, did you move to Hawaii or are you from there?
I'm from Boston originally, and then I moved to California
That's why
for
you follow
college,
along.
and then I moved here. Yeah.
Okay, so you guys have all moved. So I think we should talk a little bit about moving and making new friends, especially if that, like, I feel like anyone post grad can relate to that. What were ways that you, like, did you make new friends? Like, what were ways that you guys made new friends?
Yeah, I joined a book club here. That's how I met most of my friends. So, I mean, I know you love reading too. So, that's been a great way for me to meet people. It's like mostly girls my age. Everyone kind of like, I don't know, there's not a lot of people in Hawaii that come here and stay here for a long time. It's a lot of people moving in and out. So, it's been a good way to meet people that are like newly to the island.
Yeah, that is very, very cool. What books have y'all been reading? Any good ones?
Last month we did First Lie Wins, the thriller that's like I think it was like Reese's book club pick or something. I thought it was pretty good. I know some people didn't like it, but I liked it.
I'm actually pretty sure that's the book that Molly was reading at my house last week.
Oh yeah, I just saw her story. She didn't like it.
Yeah, she actually hated it, but I'm sure it was good.
Yeah, I liked it. But we do like a mix of thrillers, romance, all the good stuff.
Wow. Is everyone here a reader?
Yes.
Yes.
Wow, wait, that's actually like surprising. I feel like all three. Well, I guess it does make sense given the thing. Um, okay, sorry. So joining book club, that's huge. What other ways do you guys make friends or boyfriends, honestly?
I think also friends of friends. So, I mean, when I came to Florida, obviously, I went to college and then I got involved on campus. I was in a sorority. I did dance team my freshman year. So I got to meet a lot of girls and just kind of being involved on campus. And then, then you're in your 20s and you're like, okay, how do I make friends? Right. So I definitely stayed really close with a lot of the girls from college, but then I had a friend tell me, hey, I know some girl from high school and she's moving out to Fort Myers, and I feel like you guys would totally get along. You're both dog moms, you both love bougie stuff. Like you guys should definitely connect. And so we ended up connecting, and now she's one of my best friends. And then the rest of our friend group, they all found each other on TikTok. It was one of those comments like, oh,
if you need I'm looking for friends in blank area and they happen to comment. And then now we have a friend group of 5 and we've been friends for almost 2 years now, which is really cool to see. And some of the girls are already like getting engaged and getting married. And 2-3 years ago, I didn't know them. And then now I get to be a part of their, like, these phases of their life. So it's really cool.
Wow, I love that. I always see those TikToks. I'm glad to hear that.
Yes. So don't always be afraid of commenting on TikToks.
I actually think I think that's such an easy way to make friends, and also being the person that's like making the move, like taking the plunge, taking the leap, whatever that saying is. I don't know, because so often like we sit at home and we're like, oh my god, like I want friends, I want to do this, I want to do that, and like we didn't do anything. Or like how many times have you gone to an event and or like something and you're like, oh, they didn't even talk to me, and it's like, but did you talk to them? You know what I mean? Okay, Allie, do you have any friend tips, any like meeting boyfriends, anything like that?
The boyfriend selection up here is so low, so unfortunately no
fair.
there. But as far as friends go, I was just kind of talking with coworkers like, hey, what's the best way to meet people around here? And they said the volleyball league was like the pipeline for meeting people that's in your 20s, and that is so true. So I suck at volleyball, went out there, did the thing, and yeah, it was fun. And now like we just started a book club, so love hearing that, Bailey. And what else? Like we just get together every weekend, play cards, have little bonfires, try like a new restaurant and whatnot. And yeah,
Wait, that's so wholesome. What book are y'all reading?
I just ordered it. I'll have to look it up. It's like something heartless, or I can't remember at the moment.
No, like one thing about me, if I'm reading a book, I will never remember the title of the book that I'm reading currently. Like literally ever. Like I have a better chance of remembering it 2 years later on like a random Tuesday than like while I'm actually reading it.
Yeah.
It's just not gonna happen, you know?
For me, I'm the complete opposite. While I'm reading it, I'll remember it. And then 2 days later, I could not tell you what I read. It's
Yeah.
in one ear, out the other.
Yeah.
See, like while I'm reading it and I know what's going on, but the second that I finish the book, unless I like really, really loved it and I whatever, for some reason connected to it, I won't remember a single thing. Like the year that I read over 100 books, I literally have no clue what I read. No idea. Okay, are you guys Kindle readers or are you like actual physical book readers?
I'm a Kindle reader. I wasn't until like I think last fall I bought one, and now I feel like I read so much faster, and I'm like, I don't think I can go back to a normal book.
Yes, I agree. Do either of you have a Kindle?
I don't. I keep going back and forth on if I want to get one. And literally, my sweet little old woman neighbor let me borrow hers to see if I would like it, like for months.
Cute.
Wait, that's actually so cute.
Ugh, I love her to death. Like we'll do dinner together every now and then. She's the best.
Cute.
But yeah, I tried it out, and maybe it's just the book that I had. I didn't really resonate with it, but I don't know. I go back and forth. I can never make up my mind.
Fair, fair. I'm just such a Kindle girl because you can read. I read so much more. I like throwing it in my purse. I don't have all the room in the world in my house to store all these books. Like, where are they supposed to go? You know? So I like the Kindle. I really do.
I am a more physical copy right now. Like I'm reading the physical books. I don't have a Kindle, but last time I was visiting my mom, I saw she had like 3 Kindles stacked on top of each other. And so I told her, I was like, okay, next time I'm coming home, I am taking one of your Kindles and I will see if I love it.
That's fair. It's a nice thing to try out. Okay, Allie, I saw that you love Martha and Ed Milet, like literally everything of the sort. That's literally
sometimes, like,
perfect.
throw on her podcast just to get like inspiration for random things. I don't know. I feel like her voice is so calming too. Like the recommended one, that the Superfans one, I was listening to it while I was working earlier today, and I was like, God, I just love her. Like she just makes me want to like go conquer the world. And Ed Milet, like I think the last one I listened to him was, or yeah, listened about him was like a finance podcast or like a take on finance. And I was like, I could listen to him talk all day too. Like I could run through a brick wall after he says something. And I
No,
have his book too.
I literally could not agree more. I love Ed Milet. He reminds me so much of my dad. Like, they are so similar, even to the point where they're both like emotional and they'll cry and whatever. Like, I just love Ed Milet. Oh my God, have you ever listened to the Skinny Confidential Jesse Itzler, and then also, why am I forgetting, Rob Dyrdek. That episode, the Rob Dyrdek Skinny Confidential episode, is the best podcast episode that has ever come out on any single platform. I have listened to that episode probably like 4 or 5 times, and I have given it as recs to like everyone in my life. And Macy listened to it, like a year after I told her to, of course, but she did and said it was like unbelievable. I've even sent it to like guys that I was talking to, and they all loved it. Like, it is the best episode. So if you like Ed Milet especially, you should really listen to that.
Okay. I'm marking
Will
it
do.
down.
It's like so good. What podcast are y'all listening to as girls in your 20s?
So I'm actually listening to, of course, yours, but then Gals on the Go, and I just listened to this morning. So they did a little recap on their trip to Texas.
Oh, did Brooke say she was scared of the horse?
Yeah, it was on my morning commute, so I only got about halfway through. But yes, I think I stopped right after the scared of the horse when she was like trying not to get on it. And she had just told the story of Macy and her on the horse and all that good stuff. But I also love the toast, and then obviously another Dear Media. That's what we said.
Love. I was listening to What We Said last night.
Love What We Said. That's like my favorite.
It's so good. Okay, Allie, sorry. I feel like I'm like giving everyone like a baton just so the audio is better. So I'm literally so sorry.
No, you're good. I'm trying so hard not to talk over people because I feel like once I start, I just can't stop.
No, like I feel like I scared you guys more than I needed to. Like, don't be scared. Like, I was more so mentioning that for the listeners so that they wouldn't like say anything. You guys will be fine.
Yeah, so I think like just like I touched on, Ed Milet, love him. The Skinny Confidential, I listen to them all the time. And then Janine Amapola Ward, I think she is Happy and Healthy. I like her episodes too.
Love.
Oh, and Shannon Ford. Oh my God. I love her. What is hers? Probably a podcast. Yeah. Love her to death.
This is actually really, really important time to tell this on the podcast because I cannot believe that I've never shared this story publicly. Shannon Ford was the guest for my Nashville live show, right? Fabulous, everything. I'm obsessed with her. She's the coolest girl in the world, coolest girl literally ever, right, in the universe. She tells the craziest story about the time she accidentally did meth when she was like on some sort of vacation. And the episode was supposed to go live. Like, we were recording the live episodes and they're supposed to go up later. And the venue like didn't record the episode, even though it was, guys, get this. It was a live podcast recording show, okay? But they didn't record the podcast. Yeah, I know. I was so upset. Like, I don't even like care. I don't love posting live podcasts. Like, I probably won't from this point on. But I was just so upset because we had that story and it was so funny. I'm sure she's told it somewhere at this point. I mean, she really should. She should be using that everywhere. But I just need to let y'all know like what could have been. I'm still recovering.
It sucks. Yeah.
That is iconic, though.
No, it really is. She is literally the coolest ever. Okay, any other podcasts besides What We Said?
I like Brooke and Connor make a podcast.
Yeah, they're
I
funny.
think they're so funny. Every time I see their like clips on TikTok, I'm like, oh my God, they're the perfect duo.
Wait, I love them. They also, like, their clips are amazing. My podcast isn't really, like, a clippable podcast, and it really, like, keeps me up at night, you know? I'm like, I need to start saying, like, more, like, outlandish topical things so that it'll be, like, a better clip, you know what I mean?
Yeah, get your viral TikTok moment.
Yes, I need my viral TikTok moment so bad. Okay, I want to talk a little bit about navigating your 20s. I obviously talk about that on the show all the time, but I do think it would be helpful for like people in the community to hear from other people in the community who maybe are having like literally like more similar lifestyles. Like, I can't relate to someone who is obviously like working at like a fire station, even though it's like the literally coolest thing ever. So I just want to hear like how y'all are feeling about your 20s, what has been, you know, maybe like a low point, maybe if you have like some certain advice. Like, for example, for me, my favorite quote ever, which if you are a podcast listener, you know this, is an Ed Milet quote. I know it's a shocker, but it's confidence is built by making promises to yourself and keeping them. So that's just something that's really helped me. And then also with my 20s, sorry, I'm like going first when I'm just trying to give examples because I know I'm like putting you guys on the spot. Another thing that's helped me is that like your 20s are supposed to be uncertain. And like one thing about me, I hate uncertainty. Like, I would literally rather do anything besides be uncertain. Like, I have anxiety. I don't want to deal with that. So it's not really, you know, the best thing ever, but just knowing that, and like I have that in the back of my head when I'm like, oh my God, I just feel so like all over the place, especially in my earlier 20s, which is kind of I hate that I can say my early 20s, so I'm not in them anymore. But anyways, whatever. Those are just two things that have really helped me as far as navigating my 20s, and also like watching like the content that I'm consuming and what I'm listening to, even just from like people who are in my own life. So, yeah, if you guys have any like tangible tips, things in your 20s, maybe things that I haven't even talked about, go for it. Let's hear it.
I'll start, I
Yeah.
guess. I think just don't be so hard on yourself. I think that was something I'm very much like you, very much type A. I like to know what is happening. I like to be in control, and I hate not knowing. But in your 20s, everything is changing. You're learning so much. There's so many opportunities. You're meeting so many people, and it's okay to just be, to be okay, and, try things, try new things and put yourself out there. I think also like set boundaries. I know I love to travel. I love to do anything and everything with my girlfriends, but sometimes like I want to also be responsible. And so it's okay to say no to things, and sometimes it sucks and you might get severe FOMO, but at the end of the day, like if when you weigh out, what you think is going to be the best versus what you can really handle right now. Because, I'm hoping in my 30s, I'll have a little bit more money. I will be ballin', right? I'll be the corporate queen. But right now I'm just working towards those goals. And so it's okay to definitely have fun, but then also balance it out by setting yourself up for success in the future too.
Yeah, that's great advice.
Yeah, I think I kind of thought like right after graduating college, like I'd get a corporate job and I would make some money and like things would kind of work themselves out. And the first job that I got like right out of college was like the worst experience I ever had in my life. I was like cold calling for 9 hours a day, just like nonstop. I don't know like how I survived that, to be honest. But I thought like, oh my God, is this what working is? Like, am I going to be this miserable forever? And then I only lasted like 6 months at that job. And I was like, I don't think my happiness and my sanity is worth like this fairly small paycheck for what this job is. So I quit that job, and it was very scary, obviously, to like not have something lined up at the moment. So I ended up nannying for a little bit, which is not what I thought I would be doing in my 20s, but it worked out perfectly. And that's like how I ended up moving out here. I nannied for a family when I first got here. And then I ended up working in resort sales, which has been so much more fun, but it's definitely not where I thought I would be like when I first graduated college. So I guess I just kind of had to learn to be okay with the uncertain, and like things are going to change. I'm sure 2 years from now, I'll be doing something different that I wouldn't know right now. So that's just like, I guess, similar to you. You don't really know like what to expect and kind of have to be okay with that.
That also reminds me of other advice that I think about all the time. This one's actually what I think about probably the most in life, but it's a concept of holding everything with an open hand. So speaking for myself personally, I am so like stubborn. Like I'm very headstrong. I'm like trying to think of a better word than stubborn. But especially when I was younger, like if I had an idea or if I had like a dream or a vision or something for my future, it was really hard for me to adjust it, because for some reason I think I was associating that with failure, when like actually failing would be like holding on to something that like you don't actually want. You know what I mean? And also, who cares? Like failure's whatever, not a big deal. So it's like if you're holding things with an open hand, it's giving it like room to breathe. But if you're like holding something closely, like you're gonna kill it. So that just reminded me of what you were saying about switching it up and heading to Hawaii. And also, by the way, that sounds like a much more fun life. So I love that for you.
I was just saying, like, I definitely relate with Bailey because I'm in corporate America now, but I thought I was going to dental school and I wanted to be a dentist and like all these things. And then I realized like that just was not for me anymore. What was the revelation? Couldn't tell you, but that's just how I felt. And so then I ended up like getting a master's degree, and now I'm over here in med device talking like with orthopedic surgeons and all this stuff. So big, like 180, 360, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, I think just like accepting stuff as it is, like seeing where you would be a good fit. Definitely building community, like that is such a big thing for me. So those would be probably like my biggest tips, especially like when you have someone and you move to a new area that you can like share about like a rough work day or something like that. Like that definitely makes life a lot easier, besides calling my mom 24/7.
Yes. I think it's cool too that you guys have like made the changes, because so it's one thing to like hate your life and like know that you're not in the same space, but it's another to like actually make I think change is scary, but actually like make the moves to decide like, oh, this isn't for me and I'm gonna find something else. Another thing that I just thought about, that's actually at my podcast with The Skinny Confidential, but Lauren Bostic gave advice that I give to my friends all the time who are like trying to kind of change up their career, like maybe they don't know what they're passionate about. This is basically just a collection of other podcast episodes that I've listened to. But she said if you don't know what you want to do, or if you're very passionate and you want to like make your side hustle something to get a serving job and work at night, because then it frees up your days, so then you're able, or vice versa, get another job that complements the hours that you need to be free, because then it's actually giving you like the space and time to be able to like, one, survive and live, but also be able to like even figure out what you're passionate about. I just thought that was such good advice versus like working at a soul crushing, like maybe like a 9 to 5 that like isn't the right, like even maybe 9 to 5 situation for you. I just thought that was like amazing advice as someone who like obviously has like not had a 9 to 5 situation, but I do think that that was good advice, you know?
No, 100%.
Yeah.
I think one more thing too is it's so cliche, but don't compare yourselves to others. Like there's definitely things like I know I want in life, but I'm not there yet. And it's okay to not be there yet, because one day when I do achieve that and I do work towards that goal, it's going to be so much better because it's going to be the right time and everything. And so it's so hard not to compare yourself to what you see on social media and even, what's going on with your friends, but just know like what's meant to be will be, it's just in the right timing.
I love listening to people who are like in their 40s talk about their 20s, because I feel like they're like far removed enough. And I listen to them. Like I love World's podcast with the Foster sisters, and the way they talk about their 20s, like one, knowing that like none of this really ended up mattering, like the things that we were like, the stupid things that you're upset about, but also like hearing their advice on it. I just like to picture myself like in my 40s and 50s and like looking back on my life, and it's like, would I regret like wasting time over this? And like most of the time, oh, I just moved my mic. Most of the time I would. So it does help a little bit, you know? Okay, I want to talk a little bit about hosting. Who in here likes to host? Oh my God, all three of you guys. Oh my God, okay, amazing. Wait, like have you been hosting anything lately?
I think the last thing I hosted was a Super Bowl party, like nothing crazy, but
What I love. What did you do? Like, did you serve? Did you cook? What'd you do?
oh yeah, I love to cook. Like literally I'll try making anything under the sun. So naturally I had to make buffalo chicken dip.
Love.
And then I did like these little sliders, and then everyone ended up bringing something, which was definitely not what I expected. So we had quite the spread. That was really good. And yeah, we just like hung out in my living room, watched the game, really analyzed the Usher halftime. So it was a great time.
How did you guys feel about the halftime show?
I loved it.
I was
I love
vibing. I had a
Usher.
good time.
Like,
Yeah, I
here's the
thought it
thing,
was
like,
pretty
I
good.
just needed to hear my boo and I was good, you know?
Listen, I will say it was very busy, but it was really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, like, I just want to preface this by saying, like, I am by no means a male apologist, okay? That's a really important thing to say. But I just think, like, women are just better performers. So, like, when you have, like, a J-Lo who's able to, like, do more, they're just better, like, you're kind of setting up men to fail because women are just better. You know what I mean? Like, I just think that they can perform a little better. Sorry. So I just feel like, yeah, I thought I liked it, and all he had to do was sing my boo, and I was like, fine. You know? But, like, honestly, I think about this all the time. Like, so I'm a huge country music fan, okay? And I go to country music concerts all the time. And you go to Carrie Underwood on tour, right? And she has full acrobatic routine, crazy 7 different wardrobe changes. She's flying across like the arena, whatever. And then you go to like Luke Combs, which by the way, I love Luke Combs. He's one of my favorite artists in the world. You go to like any male country artist and they're singing with a guitar and a red Solo cup. Like they're very different. And I think that's a really, really good example of women and men. And again, I like the male shows too. Like I love Luke Combs, one of my favorite shows ever, honestly. But there just is a difference, you know?
Listen, men can be amazing singers, but women can truly be the entertainers. They got the whole package.
Absolutely. And I think that women are just better singers too. Like, I don't know. I just like women. You know what I mean?
They have the stage presence, keep an
Yeah.
audience entertained.
Yes, no, guys, like we got the clip that's gonna get me like viral and canceled. So got it, guys. I'm happy about that. Okay, what else have you guys been hosting?
So, or go ahead,
You
Bailey.
can go. I haven't hosted yet, but me and my friends have been doing bachelor nights, so everyone's been taking turns hosting every week, which has been really fun. Everyone like brings something to eat or we'll order food together, and it's something to do every week, something to look forward to.
Are you guys like vegans or vegetarians or anything? No? Okay, you should make these bacon wrap dates. I was just like, watch me like say that, and it's like someone who's vegan. These bacon wrap dates, this is what I make for every single little girls' night that I have. Like I'm having girls' night Thursday. Well, actually, I just got a pizza grill, like those pink pizza girl grills. I get confused. And it's really cute. So we're out shooting like a pizza night thing. But my number one crowd pleaser appetizer that I make are these bacon wrap dates, and they're so easy, and you have to make them, and they sound weird and they don't look good either, but once you taste them, it's the best thing you've ever had in your life. Like I make them in the summer still. That is how much they are requested. So you should make that. It's really good.
Send the
Will do.
recipe.
So, Allie, I can piggyback off of you, but I hosted a Galentine's at my event Super Bowl weekend. So we did it on Friday. I made like a couple charcuterie boards, and then I found this like super cute. It's just this woman who does, like little desserts out of her house, and they were heart shaped, chocolate cake on the bottom, and then flan desserts on top. They were so cute. And then I made strawberry shortcake, little martini drinks for everybody. And then all my friends also brought snacks and everything. But so we ended up having just like a really good night, and it was so fun getting to bring like all my different friend groups together. And then we brought out the nightcap cards, which was hilarious. We had so much fun with it. And then 2 days later was Super Bowl. And so we were still texting because, now we have like 20 girls that are all in this inside joke. And then as we were watching like the Usher halftime show, and I have to tell this funny story, but one of my best friends, she got the card and it was like, who was your celebrity crush? Right. And so then, or who would be like the perfect celebrity husband? I think it was something like that. And it somehow evolved into like, who is your celebrity crush? Who is your who is the ideal celebrity husband? And who is your like non-conventional crush? Right. And my best friend said Michael Cera. I don't know why, but then fast forward 2 days, and then he had the CeraVe commercial for Super Bowl. So then we were all just cackling. We're like, oh my gosh, like this brings us back to 2 days ago, and we just could not believe it. So it was so much fun getting to, group in with all these different girls, and then we had fun with Super Bowl too, even though we weren't all together.
Wait, that's actually so funny. Also, wait, we should do everyone's celebrity crush. My celebrity crush is Matthew McConaughey. That's like what I'm looking. If you guys ever meet someone who gives you Matthew McConaughey, that's going to you too, the listeners. If y'all ever meet someone who's giving Matthew McConaughey energy, like send them my way.
Miles Teller, love him, big Top Gun fan. Now I have my own military boyfriend, so I'm all set. But
wait, you should set Macy up. Macy's looking for a military boyfriend.
Oh, tell her to come to Hawaii. They're all over this island.
Like she really would.
For real, they're everywhere.
Okay, good. See, I'm like always looking out.
Yeah. I mean, unfortunately, mine does work on a submarine. So like he is gone and I can't contact him for like half the year. But other than that,
I like, first off, commend him, but also like thinking about going into a submarine, like there's nothing that gives me more anxiety than that.
Yeah, I like went on it to tour it and I'm like, I could actually never, I don't even want to be on here for 5 minutes.
No, seriously, like that is like actually crazy. What a talent.
I mean, I'll go with Riley Green since we were talking about country music. Beautiful man.
No, he is really beautiful. And he's like had such a glow up too.
Oh, 100%.
like really, really big glow up. Okay, I want to talk last thing about our 20s. What in your 20s has helped you like develop confidence?
Damn, that's a good question. I would say, at least for me, like just putting myself out there more, just trying new things. I think I was listening to like a Skinny Confidential episode the other day, and Lauren Bostic was talking about like doing tennis lessons, and I was like, ooh, I haven't done that yet. Like I kind of want to give it a try, or just putting yourself out there more, like whether that's you by yourself or you with friends, like trying new restaurants, new things, go join a volleyball league. I promise it's fun. All of those. I'm trying to think of what else. It's kind of what comes to mind right now. Yeah. I think especially too, like, I don't know if this also has to do with my job a little bit maybe, but like just giving presentations. I used to be like so deathly afraid of that. And now more like the more I do it, I'm like, okay, it's getting a lot easier. Like if something fails, you always bounce back from it. So no need to put that much pressure on yourself. Like just go do what you enjoy.
Like the art of repetition.
Mm-hmm.
I always say fake it till you make it, but then also 100% Allie, like you said, I think get comfortable with yourself, like going out, and whether that is going to coffee shops and like finding things that you enjoy in your area. Like I like to go out on the weekends and I bring my dog with me. And like, you know, we go do little things, and it's nice to just kind of build that confidence in sense of like, now I have my little routine. I befriend the people that work at the coffee shops. Definitely just kind of put yourself out there and try things. And even if you do mess up, I know I have messed up plenty of times. Just kind of take it as like a learning lesson, and then hopefully you get some feedback, or then you also kind of think about those things, and hopefully in the future you just grow and get even better.
Love that.
I think I've learned kind of in the workplace that like going into it, I was really scared because it seemed like everyone else had their shit together and I just like didn't know what I was doing, obviously, because it's like your first job. How would you know what's going on in the corporate world? And now that I've like done it for a little bit, I'm like, oh, they like also don't really know what they're doing. And even these like 40, 50-year-old people are still like figuring things out, and like it's not that serious. Like they're just people. And I think it kind of helped me like gain confidence in the workplace and realize like it's not that serious. This is a hotel, you know, like the world will not end if this doesn't get sent today. And that's kind of made things better to be like, oh, everyone's just doing their best.
Solo dates also are really helpful for building confidence. Like you were saying earlier, like developing routines. But for me, just like going and I guess it's like combining kind of everything you guys have said, but like I always, for example, like I always wanted to like go ride horses, and I hadn't done that. I did it as a kid more, but I hadn't done it as an adult. And then I was like, I actually just like want to get back into it, and like I'm just gonna do it myself. And that was like 2 or 3 years ago, and now I'm like always. I mean, we talked about it earlier. But I got Brooke Mitchell on a horse, you know, like what can't I do at this point? But doing things that I've always like wanted to do, and then also making those like solo dates, like I'll go ride by myself. That for me has instilled a lot of confidence, because it's also like you're working on your relationship with yourself. Like if you think about if you're building a relationship with anyone, like let's just say a friend, and you have plans to like go get coffee or go to like do a workout together or whatever, you respect your friends enough to not bail on your friend or leave your friend there. So I feel like the more you're like making commitments and plans with yourself, where it could be really easy to just like bail and like sit in bed and go on like watch Netflix all day, I feel like it's like telling yourself that like you are worth it enough to like, I'm gonna like make this commitment to myself and keep it. You know what I mean? Okay. Guys, sorry, there are nodding. Like for audio listeners, I need everyone who listens to this podcast to start watching on YouTube, because like that is like where I need to be heading. Okay, it is a year of hobbies. Okay, listen. One thing about me, I'm gonna find a new hobby and I'm gonna make it my entire new personality trait. Most recently, for me, it's been needle pointing. Today, actually, funny story that I myself brought this up. I got into my car. I haven't really been leaving my house much recently, besides going to the needlepoint store, okay? I get in my car, I open Maps up, and you know how like Maps or Waze will be like, are you heading to? And it used to be like, are you heading to Fit Social Club for me, because that's where I work out. Are you heading to your father's house? No, it's literally like, are you heading to needlepoint this, okay? I am 26, all right? I am 26 years old. So anyways, I love a good hobby, and I think hobbies are also, in all seriousness, a really good way to instill confidence in yourself and to build a better relationship with yourself. So do y'all have any hobbies that you either are loving these days or thinking like you want to get into? You know, the crazier the better, whatever it is.
Absolutely. You can go ahead, Bailey. You got it.
Okay. I know we talked about book club earlier, but definitely reading. Last year, I feel like it's when I kind of started reading more. I read like, I don't know, 10 books or something. And now I have like a bigger goal for this year. And I feel like that also has kind of helped me gain confidence in like committing that to myself. I'm like, oh, I actually can do this. Like if I put time into something, like finishing a book feels so good. It like feels like you've really accomplished something. So that's been good for me. And then this year, I also really want to learn how to surf, because I feel like that's something I should do here. I've gone like a couple times and I'm not very good at it, but something for this year to look forward to.
I love that. What you said about reading and how it feels like you've accomplished something, I literally like couldn't agree more myself. I'm in a Facebook group that's just like giving book recs and stuff, and I saw a girl post in the group the other day, and she's like, how do you guys deal with like reading guilt? Like I feel like I'm reading all the time and I'm like not doing anything else, and I feel like I'm not accomplishing anything and whatever. And I'm like, and all the comments were like, I literally could have written this myself. And I'm like, oh my God, like I view that as like I just took over the world. I finished a book, like I accomplished everything. Like I am superior because I just read a book, and now I'm like, oh my God, should I be feeling guilty? Like, you know what I mean? The answer is no. It feels like I'm doing something for myself, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I feel like once I start talking about my hobbies, I'm gonna word vomit because I feel like I have so many right now, and I am making them my entire personality. Number one, the sourdough starter. Like, you guys, I can't even describe. Like, I literally feel like a pilgrim making it, and how it's coming up. But like, it's my whole thing now.
No, that's literally more pilgrim-like hobbies. That is so important. Yes, yes.
So that's number one. Number two is gardening. My dad's literally helping me build like a little herb garden that I'll be using for cocktails. So I'm thinking, use that, make like little sourdough pizza crust. Like, they go
Ooh.
hand in hand. Thank you for saying the vision. Okay. And then pickleball. I'm a pickleball girly. Like, when I first started moving here, my parents, they're huge into it. And so they pointed me into this Facebook group. So I'd pull up and play with everyone's like freaking grandparents, and they would kick my ass all the time. So like, that was the best. And now I want to start like tennis lessons, all of that. I was doing the 75 hard. I did make that my entire personality until I broke it over tequila soda because I couldn't take it anymore.
By the way, as you should for both making it your personality and the tequila soda.
And then I guess the last one, this is gonna be like probably really random, but my dad has a smoker here, and I really want to get into like smoking ribs or salmon.
That is such a good hobby because it's like you will impress literally everyone around you.
Literally.
Like, sometimes you need a hobby to just brag about. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, so Kenzie, I think you posted about like grilling zucchini, I think it was one time.
Yes.
And I live in an apartment, so that will not be happening anytime soon. I do not have a grill, but that is on my list. The second I get one or the second I go back home, I'm going to be making that.
Let me just tell you something about grilling. And the reason, not to be a male hater on this podcast, but the reason that men have taken over grilling is because grilling is incredibly easy. Like, I was overwhelmed. I was like, oh my God, like, I'm a little bit scared. I just bought this house. I'm going to get a grill. Like, I'm going to get into it, whatever. First time I grilled, I was like, are you fucking kidding me? This is the easiest thing I've literally ever done. And it just gets easier and easier. I feel like smoking, though, I haven't gotten into that. That sounds hard and that sounds scary. But grilling, like, if you can cook, grilling is so much easier. The more you know.
So, Allie, also, I know you said you want to start like an herb garden. I know
Yes.
Kenzie threw out her favorite like little side dish that she does. You have to grow rosemary because anytime it's around the holidays, anytime between like honestly, like I usually start with Thanksgiving and then I kind of go into like January or so. I do sugared cranberries with rosemary and it's literally to die for. You can serve them
Okay.
as a side dish or like anytime you do like a little charcuterie board, you can like throw them on there and they look them like so aesthetic and then it also tastes amazing and it costs like maybe $3 to make. You just have to get the cranberries and then I don't have an herb garden, but my coworker does, so I steal from hers all the time.
Love that.
And then just all the sugar and everything.
I'm adding that to my next list of like hosting things.
Yeah,
Like, I
I
have
said
to
I'll
make
drop
it
the
so
link.
soon. Yeah.
Know if I've posted this anywhere. I mean, I've been filming like a YouTube video for like 2 months with like the development of my garden, you know? But I'm making an entire, like, I have a cut flower garden, I have a vegetable garden, and then I'm doing like an herb garden and a cocktail garden. But now I'm like stressed on if I can put the herb garden with the cocktail garden because I only have like one Vago garden bed for that. So like gotta like figure that situation out. But I was on the call yesterday with like actually like really crazy people with like these like producers, whatever. And they like, of all people, trust me, should know about this kind of garden, and they'd never heard of a cocktail garden. I'm like, is that like a Gen Z thing? I hear about cocktail gardens like all the time. And also half of Gen Z can't drink, so no. Just kidding.
Listen, we love our garnishes. What
We
can we say?
do. I'm thinking like a homemade
A
mojito.
gal's got to
thing.
garnish.
Yeah.
Gal got a garnish. Yes. What, Allie, what were you thinking?
I said like a homemade mojito night or something, or like you like build your own cocktail with whatever it is. I don't know. That's kind of my idea with it.
No, I love that. And like, here's the thing. I'm making an entire cocktail garden, and I could not tell you the last time I made a cocktail from home. So it's just gonna like end up sitting there, and I'm really not like, I'm like, I've really got to like start drinking more and doing more things. Also, I am so in the hole on this garden, like the project that it's happened. Like, my garden is really just for the vibes. It's not for saving money because like I have done this entire thing. I've made a whole garden. I've done all this, whatever. What, to grow like 10 73-cent onions? Like, it's not really like a cost-effective thing. It's more like a mental health investment. That's how I view my garden, you know?
Oh, 100%.
It's like reading.
Yeah.
You'll feel better about yourself when you see the final
Yeah.
product.
Yes, I'm so excited because this Friday I'm like transplanting all of my like seedlings, whatever, to the actual garden itself. Like I have to get all the compost tomorrow, and like I'm getting a truck soon, but like the fact that I don't have one right now is like really stressing me out. And it's just gonna be like absolutely fabulous. Like I'm so excited finally to see like all of my hard work go there. You know what I mean? Like it's just, I like hobbies that like I get something out of, you know?
What's like the
Yeah.
first thing that you're excited to make with whatever?
So I haven't really thought that through. Let me think. Oh, well, I am really excited about the onions randomly because like obviously onions are at the base of everything. Oh, I'm excited about my carrots because I do use carrots for year round for like everything. I feel like carrots are like what I cook with the most because they're either the basis of every single recipe or soup or whatever, or in the summer I'm like grilling carrots. That's gonna be good. I am like trying eggplant out and like it's growing a little slow. So like we'll see about that. Eggplant is gonna, you know, take a little bit of time, but I'm hoping that that really like comes through. I do have a slight fear that I've done all of this and documented it online and like not anything is gonna be good. Like that's definitely top of mind. Like it's not, I'm a little bit concerned about that. But I'm feeling like, you know, it's for the vibes.
Always.
That's what it has to be for. Okay, the last thing I wanted to chat about, what kind of content are y'all consuming recently that you're really enjoying? Like what is like your kind of vibe? Maybe like your favorite influencers or like general For You page. Like for my example, my Instagram explore page is all, I mean, you would think that like an 80-year-old's running this account. It's needlepoint canvases, it's antique resale stores, it's home design, it's things like that, you know? But maybe if you guys have like specific influencers. I'm trying to think of influencers that I love that are not my friends.
I've been watching Sophia Pinella's TikToks. I found her like kind of recently. She just moved to Nashville, and I just think she's so cool. She started a podcast too, so I've been listening to that recently. But her whole process of moving from Reno to Vegas, or not Vegas, to Nashville has been like, I don't know, really fun to watch. But in general, I've been watching a lot of content of like just random people who like don't have that many followers that are like my 9 to 5. And I'm like, that's relatable. It's like very similar to what I do. So that's what I've liked watching recently.
Love.
Yeah, I love the 9 to 5 content as well. I definitely find it like so relatable. I'm like, yeah, girl, I just got off and I'm tired too.
Yeah.
I would also say I'm gonna sound like a broken record. The sourdough content, the cooking recipes, like come through so hard all the
Listen,
time.
I get it.
And then I guess someone else that comes to mind, I think your name is Haley Buchholz. I feel like I remember people's like Instagram handles instead of their actual name or whatever it is, but she does like golfing content because I'm kind of getting into golfing more and I love her. Love like her links and everything.
So
Yeah, that's
I'm
really
a Trader
cool.
Joe's girly through and through. And so my entire TikTok is like all Trader Joe's, like 5 recipes with 5 items or less, is like, say less, I can manage this. Because there's nothing that I want to do after, like I work for 10 hours. And so like that is a long day. I do not need to make, a big dish. That's for the weekends. But love Trader Joe's. I love Sophia Pinella too. She's actually from like 25 minutes away from my hometown back in California. I don't know her or
No way.
anything, but I know that she's like went to like one of my like high school in the area that a lot of my friends went to. So that's pretty cool. And then same thing, I love like the 9 to 5 content too. I love getting to see like the big influencers and getting to see like their life and getting to, follow along with that. But then also the really like micro influencers. I love Amara Kay. I actually think that she is a like, what's it called? She works for like, the marketing side of things. I think she's like actually a manager for folks. But she also documents and does her stuff. And so it's really cute to see that. And she also does like hot Pilates. I know she does hot works, and I think she's like an instructor I don't know if it's Solid Core, like another one, but I love following along to that stuff too.
I love that. I love following people that I have no relation to. No, wait, what's the word I'm looking for? I love following people. Oh, okay. I love following people that wait, I'm not trying to say relation, whatever. Okay. I love following people that I don't relate to, literally in the slightest. Like my favorite follow is a girl who lives in the North Pole. Like that is what I need. And if you're ever like down bad and you're comparing yourself and you're like, oh my God, or I feel like it's really easy to do that as anyone who has one Instagram account. Follow people that you actually don't relate to at all. Like, and it's really refreshing, you know what I mean? Like, I like following people who are like legit like trad wife people, which by the way, like, I just found out, this is so stupid, that trad wife stands for traditional wife. Like, I thought it was people who were like literally living off the land. Like, that's not what I thought was happening.
When I was listening, I think, to what we said.
Same.
I was like,
No, and they were like, well, obviously it means traditional wife. I was like, yeah, obviously. Yeah, sure. Had literally no idea. But I do really like, going back to when we were talking about like comparing yourself, I like following people that I have nothing in common with, and they're not even necessarily aspirational to my life. Like, I don't really want to live their life, but I'm so interested in their life because it's so different than mine. Like, the North Pole, I really cannot recommend it enough.
is that a Svalbard girl?
What?
Good. Is that the girl that like lives in Svalbard or something?
Yes.
That always
God, I'm so obsessed with her, and I don't know how to pronounce her name. No, I literally don't know how to pronounce her name, so I never say it. I always just say like she lives in the North Pole, and because I don't want to be like disrespectful. But her dog's cute. Like, guys, there's literally polar bears that live outside of her house. Like, how crazy is that? And polar bears, spoiler alert, they're not nice. That's what I learned from her. Thank y'all so much for coming on. This has been such a fabulous episode. I'm gonna have to get all the book racks and all the recipe racks and things that we threw out to like put up on the Instagram or something, so everyone listening can join the party, obviously. But thank you guys so much. Unless you guys don't want me to, I'll like link your Instagrams below, unless like that's not the vibe. You guys can let me know. I feel like that's it. I could literally talk to you guys forever, but thank you guys so much.